Hello, I'm Etienne. This is ESA Winter 2019, and you will watch OCTAHEDRON's any percents made by Christerious. Enjoy your watchings.
Hi, my name is Christerious. This is OCTAHEDRON, and joining me on the mic is Marco, aka Dummy One Day Games, the developer of this game. Hi, Marco. Hey, how's it going? I know, very early in the morning. So I will be playing the cutscene at the start. Let me just delete a file and actually double check my game settings just to be on the safe side. Speedrunner timer, so it's legit. We have the speedrunner timer on the stream as well, but I just like to have that timer in the top right. Everything's fine there. Okay, so the timer doesn't start yet because the global timer in the top right only starts when the actual cutscene is finished. So I'll just let the cutscene play out. So the plot of the game, I don't really know, because I'm just playing the speedrun.
Sorry, can I ask you when you want the incentive to be closed, or
the incentive to be closed is the end of World 3, so I'll let you know.
Alright.
By the end of, like, there's 9 levels in World 3, and on the 9th level, I'll let you know when it gets closed off.
Alright.
It's currently kill, is it?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
What is it? We're killing the beast?
We could be killing the bees, which is funny because I've been practicing so much to save them, but you know,
Yeah.
people want to kill the bees here
for
for some reason.
killing them.
Yeah, there's no problem. It's somewhat. They're both the same speeds, but it's so much easier to just kill them.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, cool. So I'll obviously explain the game once we get to the opening sort of tutorial. It's only like a 40-second little level, but I just thought I'd let the opening cutscene play out for a little bit. The time
Yeah, there's only like 2 cutscenes in the game too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's no like cutscenes in the middle. It's just one to start and one to end. So. It used to start the timer before this point, so we did used to skip the cutscene like as soon as possible. In fact, that was the first trick, was to try to skip the cutscene in about 4 seconds. But that's no longer the case, which is quite nice. It means you can open it and watch it if you want to. It won't affect your time.
Yeah, I think I did this. I implemented this thing with the timer not starting until after the cutscene because it turned out to be slightly inconsistent, or when some people's computers it was like a couple of frames slower. So I thought, let's just get rid of it, and then it's consistent for all the speedrunners.
Cool. Yeah, we were happy with that. Okay, cool. So pretty much the timer starts on skip intro. So I'll cut you down if you're ready. So it is 3, 2, 1, go. Cool. So first part that we're doing is holding right. There's this little sort of cutscene light moment here where you're just falling constantly, and you can go left and right, and it does actually affect your position at the end. So we hold right at the start and then mash lock, because what we can do is we can create platforms in here. You won't see a number above my head until we start the main game. Right now I just have the 1 and I can surf them along. This tutorial pretty much explains intuitively how the game works. You can break these bulbs to collect things, gets you to the end of the world if you collect enough. And it just sort of lets you get the surfing mechanic and tells you that you're getting to the goal at the end. So I just mash enter very fast to try and enter very quickly. The first thing I'll talk about is the routing that I was sort of discussing a few seconds ago. You have to collect a certain amount of flowers or diamonds. I might interchange both terms. They're both pretty much the same thing. You have to collect 130 by the end of this world. So there's quite a few bulbs you're trying to route within each world. Right now, they're pretty much in my way anyway, so there's not too much deviating from where you would normally move in the level. So that's fine by me, but there are certain worlds where you will have to go a little out of your way, or you have to avoid certain tricks because they're just too slow for... well, they're not too slow, they're fast, you don't collect enough, and that is slow. Some of the bulbs, however, you notice me avoid those, even though they're on my way. Those bulbs are actually empty, so they're either in freeze states. They have flowers in them, they don't, or they might even be random. There is a slight element of randomness to this game. It's not too bad, but you might deviate. Like, you might have too little or too more than you actually need. Which it varies things up. I mean, I know, Marco, we've kind of discussed about randomness like a while ago, to be fair. I've kind of got used to it now, but it can be controversial in speedrunning with randomness. But
yeah, I guess it's the only thing that really is a problem for speedrunners, the fact that the distribution of the diamonds is random. But I suppose that's kind of the interesting thing, that you have to do so much routing on the fly.
yeah,
You know.
there's a lot of sort of quick maths going on in terms of whether I can actually do certain routes, or if I have to actually start collecting a little more, or even a little less. You can skip certain flowers if you have a lot more than you would expect. So the main gimmick in this level, and you'll notice there is pretty much, there's something new practically every level. And this is what I tend to call loading platforms. I can't remember, what are they actually called? What's the scientific name?
Scientific name for what?
The loading platforms, the ones I'm landing on right now.
Well, the official names are really bad, because they're just like, and never really large. So I call all these blocks that have different sort of features, like these loading ones. I just call them big blocks.
that's fine.
They're just like,
yeah,
they're short blocks.
They're kind of just variable names. They don't actually appear in the game in any way. That's kind of why nothing really has a name that we're aware of anyway. A fairly major trick which I'm going to be doing later on in another level anyway, so I can highlight it then. There was a whole section there that it looked like I skipped, which I did, because what we do is we tend to call it a pixel jump. There's about 5 pixels next to a tiny little platform with a laser on it, and you can land just about on there. You kind of have to hold left for about 3 frames or less so that you don't move into the laser and die. And so you skip a whole loading platform segment there, which is very useful. This level is, the main thing in this level is damage boosting. You have these red orbs that you can't kill anything yet, and as well as that, you just can't get rid of them in any way. So you have to normally move these blocks, these moving blocks, in the way so that it blocks them firing. However, we can just sort of tank a hit and go through, and I'll explain the sort of the frame data and how it works as soon as we get to it, which is in a few seconds. So I just got hit there. I was stunned for about a third of a second. However, I actually had invisibility frames, or iframes, for 2 seconds, so I have quite a lot of time to put a platform down after I'm stunned and then just carry on going, which is pretty useful. It comes up in the next world as well. Okay, I'm going to try putting a platform down. Yep. If you can put a platform down before you even land, and it's kind of useful here so that you put these sort of like phase platforms. They're like the Super Mario Galaxy platforms that go in and out, the red and blue platforms. If you spin, if you put a platform down, you will change where they are. So there's a lot of putting platforms down very quickly to just put it in the right phase you want for the next section coming up. And quite a cool skip coming up if this is in the right phase, which it is. Okay, cool. So you can jump whilst you surf, which is quite useful there because those little orange boys you can just jump right over. And I'll have to wait for this. So these platforms, they take about 8 frames to actually physically sort of like appear and have collision. So you can actually skip through that section, which you're not really meant to skip to. It's meant to be for backtracking, but we sort of forward track through it.
It may be notable that was the first level where you had like explicit beat synchronized elements with those rotating laser things.
Oh, nice. Yeah, because there's a lot of sort of like rhythm-based things going on in this game, and yeah, I've never really thought which levels do and do not have it. So here's the pixel jump. So I waited a little bit there just to show it off, and then we can jump straight up through. So pixel jump, it's not a very imaginative name. It's just to say that you have to jump on a very little amount of pixels. The rest of this level is fairly intuitive, so if there's anything to read out, feel free.
Yeah, I can tell you about the charity we are raising for and Save the Children.
Go for it.
As you might know or might not know, well, I guess you know now, it's I mentioned it, but we are raising money for Save the Children, the world's first globally charity for children who are celebrating their 100th anniversary as an organization this year. They do whatever it takes for children to be protected, survive, and learn through 3 global goals. 1. No child should die from preventable causes. 2. All children should have access to a quality basic education. 3. No child should be victim of violence.
It's for a great cause, so do make sure to donate. Feel free to, if you have any opinion about bees, donate towards killing or saving them. Okay, so
I think we should definitely save them.
what are you going to say, sir?
I think we should save them. We should save the bees.
Save the bees? Okay, yeah, sure. That's not what's currently met right now, so feel free to
Yeah, I know.
shift it. Yeah, yeah.
I'm just trying to turn it around.
Saving the bees is quite an elaborate form of movement and lets a lot of them spawn on the screen. So I'll explain it close to when I'm doing it. So right now, this level, there's not too much to mention in terms of speed tech. Unfortunately, I didn't reach that platform, but that's all right. But there is quite a lot of what's called boost jumping going on there. So if you've ever played or seen the game before, then you might see that the movement vertically, because it's a very vertical platform, is quite fast. So it's mostly because you're normally jumping, putting a platform down and waiting till your character lands. However, you can pretty much just jump as soon as you put a platform down, and you even have a little shift upwards so that you don't sort of like clip into the platform. Or I think you can describe that sort of motion a little better, Marco, because I'm terrible at describing it.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, the boost jump that you're doing, the thing that you see that when you make a platform, you just like keep going, keep that vertical momentum going. That is because you get a little boost every time you place a platform. You get a little bit of a vertical boost, and if you manage to like press the jump button again at the right moment while you're in that tiny little boost, you can just keep the momentum going. And it's kind of hard to do, and it's I don't know. Sometimes we describe it as an exploit, but really it's just a part of the movement, and it's really difficult to do. So it's usually just something that speedrunners do.
Yeah, exactly. Though I know a few people who've seen runs and then played this casually and tried to do it, which isn't great on your hands sometimes. There was a warp that just happened earlier, so just to describe it in short, you respawn where you last safely landed, in the sense that if there's something that's breakable or dangerous, you're not going to be respawned there. So what I do is I land near a lift that I want to take, but I need to activate the switch. So I activate the switch without landing anywhere that's considered safe, and then take a hit on a laser, which respawns me back to my last safe space, which is right by the lift. It saves quite a bit of time, probably about, I'd say 10 seconds or so, which in this game is quite a lot. There aren't any massive skips. You're not skipping entire levels. In fact, if you thought, why can't you just skip the last level? You can't. You have to beat each level and collect enough before you can unlock the next world. Because there's quite a few important mechanics in certain levels that if you skip them, you wouldn't know what they were in a later level. Okay, keys. Nice. Okay, I got that one. So these keys can be quite pesky on the first playthrough, in the sense that you have to, sometimes you try and snipe them. I normally just go right above them so that my shot's going to come out instantly. And you also have 10 platforms, as you can see. The 10 above my head that appears when I'm actually surfing on the platforms, that shows how many I have. And 10's quite a lot, but is meant so that you can fire at these enemies and keys as much as possible. So there is a damage boost coming up after the next section. That key was a little pesky. It decided to, there we go. Even after 400 hours, I still can't shoot these keys. Okay, that one. Got that one. Nice. Okay, so the damage boost coming up now. I have 2 hearts. You start each level with 3. You can get extra hearts as well, which I could have collected if it was going to be dangerous. And if I have 2 there, that's fine. I can take the damage. I can take the damage and still get through without having any issues, really. Okay, this level's probably got the first biggest skip. It's actually quite hard. So I'm going to hopefully get it first try, but it is quite inconsistent. If not, I have about like 1,000 different backups for it. Okay, so there's also a very minor skip coming up that came quite recently. if I manage to get the movement right. It also depends on the flowers. 1 or 3 flowers can appear there. 2 isn't very many actually, so I'm just going to skip that. I'll skip that skip, it's fine. I didn't get enough momentum there. So you can bounce off these slingshots, and if you jump at the time that you're getting hit, then you'll go up very, very high. In fact, that one, to get the right momentum, you pretty much have to jump on the first or second frame that you get hit, or just before you get hit. And you can skip that whole section. But if not, those shots that come out of my platform, they go pretty much as far as they need to. So you can shoot something off screen very far away. Kind of want that. These scientific name for these are slinkies, in my opinion. So they can be annoying. They jump up and down at whatever time they feel like. So you can see they have a certain animation when they're going to jump, but there's a lot to keep an eye on in this level. So they very often will hit me, and sometimes it's a very, very bad opportunity. So you can get hit off the platforms. Break that platform. That enemy survived. I don't like that. It's kind of slow, but whatever. I'm going to kill that one. And that one as well. Ah, juked me. Okay, cool. If there's anything else you need to read out, the next level is fairly... Well, it's a fair amount of downtime if you need to read anything.
So I can tell you about our sponsors.
Sure.
Our partners, sorry. Elgato is here with us at the event, and they're running the stream decks, or like stream stations in the back, which anyone at the event is free to sign up and use during this event, which is very nice for like full-time streamers and such. Since normally coming to an event like this would take a lot of your time, and it really helps them out and taking their, well, even attending the events. So thank you very much to Elgato for that.
Yeah, thank you. Those stream stations are really cool. In fact, they're too good when you go back to your normal stream setup. So I had to go all the way down to the bottom right to actually activate a switch, so that I removed those sort of force field looking platforms. If you were able to actually not have a checkpoint there, you could probably skip a lot of this level and have a death warp, but a lot of checkpoints are positioned in such a way that death warps would take you back to the checkpoint, so you can't just stay near the goal, go down to a switch, take a hit, and then warp back. Unfortunate, but that's just, it is what it is. But there's potential there if there was some kind of checkpoint skip, so feel free to discover that if you want to. I mean, this is actually, Marco, the first level I'd think of in terms of sort of like rhythm elements. I know they're sort of everywhere else, but this is this the first time the timing platform comes out? I can't actually quite recall. I think it is. Might be having some tech issues there. See, what I was talking about the slinkies there, that's exactly what happens. You can't really avoid it, to be honest, especially since there were free there. Yeah, that one wanted me as well. Thankfully, it just bounced right off my platform. Okay, there's quite a tight cycle. There, got it. Okay, so when I was talking about routing, this is where I tend to keep an eye on my flower count. So I have 138, which is fine. I don't need to go out of my way to collect way more, or even the opposite. I don't need to, or can't really skip ones that I normally get on my standard route. there's a lot of routing on the fly here. We do have categories, one where it's pretty much a level showcase, so if you're put off by the concept of having to route all these flowers in on the fly at times, there are categories to avoid that. I'm gonna get one. Because in this world in particular, the last level, I want to be able to skip most flowers. The average that I want to have to collect is 8. So if I have 8 to collect, that's fine. If I have less, even better. I don't have to think about it at all. So hopefully I get into this pipe instantly. I say hopefully. This isn't a major time save, it's just, I didn't get the swag. That's such a shame. It doesn't, it saves probably like half a second because you can destroy these little corks that are on the pipes and also get into the pipe at the same time. The hitbox for them are quite lenient. You can be way above or below the pipe and still get in. Okay, so I'm counting the diamonds are in the UI in the left if you haven't seen them. They're sort of like green, blue and red crystals. And I have 21, which is fine. I think I had a little bit of randomness there that I didn't get as much as I normally could. So I didn't get the 8 I wanted. I need to get 11, but that's cool. I have varying routes for these levels. As long as I collect 11 though. The worst thing that will happen, and I'm not trying to jinx it, but the worst thing would be if I have to play a level again, which I'm hopefully not going to have to do, but the estimate does have that in mind in case anything goes particularly pear-shaped. Okay, so more slingshot skips, there we go. That one's quite lenient, it's about a 6-frame window. In terms of collecting more stuff, I can get that. And I'll get that as well, though I didn't collect enough platforms. I'll just ride this, that's fine. Okay, this is quite hard, let me go for this. There, nice. That was close. That laser nearly grazed me. I'm praying for RNG here, if not I have to go back. I have 9 flowers currently, and these can give me 1 or 2. They gave me 2, thank God. Okay, this is just about enough to get through. So the funny thing about this is that in terms of the sort of like frame savers, the count at the end that goes into the end of the world, the bridge that gets you to the next one, they will count every flower you got in the last level. So even if you only needed 1 to get out of the world, but you collected 30, they will flood the whole bridge with 30 flowers, and then you will be able to advance. So technically, it's slower to get more than you need because of that. So that's why I try and get it on the dot, but then if you if you fail your maths in any way and collect 1 less, then it kind of ruins things. You have to play the level again. So this is 3-1. I now have a new power-up, and this is the beam. So the beam platform is pretty much the shot. It's just constantly firing, but it does have a few interesting mechanics. Like I mentioned earlier, you can use all these sort of power-ups in weird and wonderful ways in each level, and you'll see it in 3 too. I will highlight the differences. This
okay, so I guess I'm back, Chris, by the way.
Oh, are you? Oh yeah, I heard you sniff. Hey. Don't worry, you didn't miss anything. You've seen this run before, right?
No, it's not the first time.
Oh really? Oh wow, amazing.
I don't know if this is bad, my Discord crashed.
Your Discord crashed?
Yeah.
Shouts to Discord. Thankfully, not a partner. I hope not. Please tell me if Discord are a partner and I'll rescind my comment.
Don't believe so.
Okay, cool. We're fine. So, 3-2. There's a bucket in the bottom right there. I'm going to charge it very early because I can charge it off screen. Nice. So that's what I was talking about in terms of the power-ups have different uses other than just killing the enemies. Like the bees that are coming up later. So those can charge buckets. They can activate these nice little sort of like lift platforms. And I think there might even be a few more uses. I can't remember off the top of my head. When we get up to them, I'll point them out. But I'm destroying these bulbs because they have a chance to give you a little bit. Charging this. and I'm switching platform as well. So the interesting thing is, the game was originally going to have, well, it has a few different power-ups, and it was going to require a mix of all of them. So you need to switch to laser, then switch to shot. That got changed a little late into development, but you can still change back, and it is required, or it's useful for this level in particular, because there are these spore enemies who will fire at you if you shoot them, and boop you as well if you get too close, which is fine. I have the hearts for it. So there's a lot of switching on the fly. If you see something above my head with the platforms changing, that's what I'm doing, but it pretty much only happens in that level. I don't believe I do it anywhere else.
Yeah, and you know, there would have been even more switching if I had stuck to the platform upgrades how they used to work, because like you would have had to switch between like 4 different platform times by the end, and I just realized at some point it's just not fun. It's not really fun to be switching between 4 different platform types.
Yeah, exactly.
That's when I implemented that change to make them stackable upgrade.
Yeah, it makes it quite easy to manage and do everything on the fly as well. You don't have to swap that much, but if you do, it's pretty quick. So I tried a minor skip there. It only saves about 2 seconds, and it can actually lose flowers, but the routing in here is quite good. But unfortunately, I just about got hit by a laser. It's quite a tight jump as well, which is fine. The backup actually gives you more flowers, so in some ways it's useful. This skip is quite easy to do, which I've jinxed. Nope, it's fine, good, got there. There was a bucket in the bottom right there that I meant to charge, and it loads a bunch of platforms. And the platforms are kind of bad in a way, bad in the sense that they change your route entirely, and it's quite slow to ascend to the top. But you can pretty much just not bother charging the bucket, and with free jumps or free platforms, just skip that entire section. And it's slightly easier. Did you moved the level around slightly, and then it got easier. I can't remember when.
Well, I just patched it back in. That was the thing that...
Oh, yes, yeah.
That's a skip that I accidentally... Well, I didn't really mean to. It's an actual speedrunning skip, and I accidentally at some point patched it out, and then you guys were like, the speedrunning community was all like, oh, we can't do the skip anymore, so I just, on the next patch, I just broke the level again so that you could skip it.
We didn't have a fit over it. It's not like, oh no, we can't do it. I can't believe you're against the speedrunners.
Yeah. No, it was nothing like that, but I like those speedrunning skips,
Yeah.
so it made sense for me to do that.
Yeah, there's very little that's been changed that's actually made this game slower. There are technically patches that might be a little bit faster, mostly because the 2 things I'm aware of is well, funnily enough, the camera glitch that happened in the next level got patched out, which is understandable because you couldn't see yourself if you went really fast. And then there was a double jump that got patched out because imagine a double jump in a vertical platform where it's kind of broken, so it makes sense to patch it out. But I'm playing on the latest version. In fact,
and it really was broken.
Yeah, it was. In fact, like it was quite hard to do, but some of the tricks were ridiculous. But you know, there is the option potentially to run an early version. I personally prefer to run on the latest because it's got the latest stuff, which I'll highlight. There are actually speedrun medals in the version I'm currently running on. It will come to Steam shortly, and it's on the Switch version as well. Which, who doesn't like speedrun medals? I mean, seriously, and they're quite hard. I would know because we helped make the times.
Yep.
Okay, you fall very quickly in this level, so you have 50 platforms to navigate it as carefully as you want. But if you know the laser layout, which I do because I've played this game, you can just fall through quite quickly, and then you go back up. So the boost jumping I was talking about before in 1.6 in particular, because 1.6 had quite a few platforms. When you have 50, there is a lot of boost jumping, so let me go very fast. Hitting lasers here is bad, so I'm just jinxing myself in advance if I do hit a laser. Nope. Okay, my respawn point's there now, so if I hit a laser, it's not terrible. But if you hit a laser very late, then you respawn back to either the top or the bottom, depending on the checkpoint. So that can go badly. It's happened before, and it will happen. Okay. There's quite a big trick coming up, if I get it. There are these laser platforms, and you can jump off them in like the first or second frame. You're obviously not meant to. It's kind of like spike jumps in other speedruns, where you're totally not meant to jump off the thing that kills you, but you can. That's as much as I can really explain it, and it's coming up very shortly, so I'm going to sort of concentrate a little bit. It's coming here. Nice, okay, first try. Sweet.
Oh, nice.
So that I thought that was going to be a very annoying trick when I first discovered it. In fact, I discovered it accidentally. I just accidentally jumped off of one of these and just sort of thought that shouldn't happen. And then I thought it was going to be an awful, awful speedrunning trick, but I've just grinded it out until it works. So that's fine. It's quite a bit of a... It's more of a visual thing that I base it on. I'm sort of used to the jump height I get. There are loads here. In an IL, you would technically try and jump off of these, but it's just ridiculous if you tried here. So I'm not doing that. Cool. I will have a gander at my flower count and see if it's good. If it's good, then I don't need to concentrate too much. Yeah, it looks fine to me. I do have notes, just in case. The next level is it's kind of similar to the other level where I just go up really quickly. So the next level is a good time to read stuff. I'll give you a heads up. But this level has quite a bit going on. So next gimmick for this, you have both items you can collect that give you a platform and enemies. So I'm going to destroy this. I get 2 for the price of 1. You're not meant to have 2 at this point. Ah, and then I bonked my head. That was just karma for trying to break it. Let me just break it again. Cool, thank you. So you're not meant to have 2 here, which you're meant to go to the right and destroy that enemy, but I don't do that. Because there are many, many ways of exploiting these. In fact, right now I'm going to do it again. I'm going to let the camera pan down, and I was able to destroy that whilst hanging around there. And there is one coming up, which is probably the most intuitive to look at. I think it's pretty clear what's going on, but I will explain it as well, just in case. So there is a platform enemy off screen. If you can see something being destroyed at the very bottom, that is the second one. So with one platform, I'm destroying 2 of these. It's just about within reach. I get karma. Anytime I'm talking about breaking the game, I'm getting the karma. That's fine. I mean, I believe this is one of the few things you might have highlighted to me, Marco, so I never feel too bad about it. I think you've mentioned that you were aware that you could hoard platforms here before.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think I did mention it to you, but I thought someone discovered that before, wasn't it? I thought you discovered that before.
Possibly. I'm never sure if you discovered stuff in your own game before us or not. I mean, some stuff you definitely highlighted to us, and I will tell people if that is the case. But that one I'm less sure about. I mean, it might be that you might have mentioned it in one way, but obviously we've got a few exploits now. But this is just going up really fast, so feel free to read stuff if you need to, if there's a donation or any sponsors to call out.
I'll tell you about our partner, ViewSonic.
Cool.
So, our exclusive monitor partner for 2019 and 2012, the ViewSonic Elite. And it's currently the monitor that he's playing the game on is the ViewSonic 24-inch 144 Hz one. And there's a 27 Hz one, not Hertz, 27-inch one that are used for the streaming pods, and the 32-inch is the one for modern and retro consoles. So, yeah, thank you, ViewSonic, for being our provider for the monitors.
Cool, thank you. Okay, I'm going to try a stupidly hard trick, because that's always fun. Not quite. So, the backup is just to carry on as normal. You can get what we tend to call peak jumps. All it is really is just that on 20 frames after you jump, that's the highest height you can get. So that, plus the little boost you get, twice in a row gets you just about high enough to make that jump, but it's very... that was unintentional. It was very hard. In fact, that was RNG manipulation, actually, just to highlight. So I tend to go for it. If I don't get it, I just carry on as normal. It doesn't waste a huge amount of time. That was more RNG manipulation. It was because I want to do it again. Not even the second try, man. I will try that. There is another level that's prominent in, so I'll try it then. I have to load this platform again. If you go to the very far right. And I need to collect a little more than I normally do. So I need to get 21 in this level. So I'm probably going to break more bulbs than I normally do, just so I definitely get the right amount. But most of the time they're kind of on your way anyway. So these bulbs, for example, they're not wasting time. They're on my route, so that's fine. Let me skip this. Yep. Okay, that laser didn't kill me. So I can skip lasers when I feel like it. I now have 18, so I only need 3 more. Feel free to count along at home and just spam numbers in chat. Ah, I'm not getting that one. The laser. I'm not getting killed by lasers anymore. You've heard it here first. And I have 21 anyway, so. Okay, you can feed the platform through there and pretty much activate the bucket way earlier. You're meant to go to something in the bottom right of the level to move the platform and then charge a bucket, but you can just slide your platform through. It's quite a cool little trick. It's not too hard to do either. I might have seen someone do it on their playthrough, which is terrible. How dare they exploit the level. The B incentive is now, so if you can cut it off. I nearly forgot, but I just remembered.
Okay, I'll cut it off.
Cool, thank you. And it's the next level. It's like 10 seconds in is when it matters. So, is it killing or saving the bees?
It seems to still be killing them.
Killing, sweet.
Oh, that's too bad.
I know, it's too bad. I mean, what I'll do, I've got a plan for killing the bees to make it a little more interesting, because killing the bees is pretty much just playing the level as normal. This is the first level where these bee enemies spawn, and they can be kind of irritating, and they're throughout the whole level as well. Saving them basically means not using the drill when the bees appear. So right now, there are going to be bees. So what I'll do is I'm going to break the beehive and just kill a few extra, just for you guys, because you donated your hard-earned money to kill bees, you monsters. In fact, I could have done the death warp there, but I need to collect, or not the death warp, sort of damage abuse, but I need to collect stuff in here anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. So this level's quite cycle dependent. So the amusing thing about killing and saving the bees is that if you waste too much time just screwing around, like I did. Nope, I missed. I mean, I got the cycle, thankfully. It's not a hard one. It's just that if you mess around, you can very easily miss it. Which is fine. It just means more killing or saving bees, but you decided to kill them. So I've agitated the beehives. More of them appear. I'm just going to kill more and more. I'll just do that one for good luck. Actually, I don't know. I think killing bees is probably bad luck in some way, but it's too bad. So pretty much, you donated for the speedrun to go fast, so thank you very much. Okay, this level is quite interesting. So, when I was talking about stuff that Marco's highlighted to us, this is one of the first things I remember. These, like, plant enemies eat your platform. You won't really see it now, because obviously I don't want them to eat my platform, so most of the time I won't even try. I mean, there, it tries to eat them. But funnily enough, I just spoil the mechanic that I'm just about to exploit there. So if you mash the button, you still get that little boost we were talking about earlier, where you move up like 5 pixels or so. And you have 5 platforms in this level. So, you know, 5 times 5, it gets you quite a lot higher. And we will exploit that at the very end of the level, which is coming up. All the levels are quite short. Sad thing about that, the music is amazing in this game, but the music is quite long. So I don't actually get to hear most of it when I'm speedrunning it. It's about like, you know, 3-5 minutes. It varies between 3 to 5 minutes in from what I can recall. And the longest level you play pretty much is 1.5 minutes in a speedrun. Here is the mashing though. Nice, cool. So you skip the whole section going to the left and back round.
Too bad that it isn't used more, the platform mashing, because it's like one of my favorite things.
Yeah, I mean, there was one earlier. A very minor exploit I didn't point out there. There was a platform that was loaded that shouldn't have been, in the sense that you have to jump quite tightly at the start of the level to keep it loaded. And that we didn't used to know about it. So what we used to do was twice in that level, we would do platform mashing. And in all collectibles, because there is a category where you collect all the diamonds, understandably, and all the tetras. That yellow thing in the bottom right, I could collect. It's not important in any percent though, it's only for a bonus level. But there are platform mashing strats for that, I believe in 5.1, but it's not something I do here. Oh, the combo. Nice thing there is that I got hit twice, but only took 1 hit of damage because there's sort of a buffer where you have invincibility that if you hit a laser after you get hit by something else, you'll still get the respawn effect, but you won't actually get another heart of damage because it'll be a little unfair. I'm going to wait this out. There is, however, not quite a death warp, what we tend to call a laser warp coming up. Kind of like what I just did then, but intentionally. Let me see if I can get it. So I set up there, because that's where I want to be. I jump here. I open this gate, I hit this laser, and I respawn back right next to the gate, which is what I want. Do I try this? Nah. Or do I? Yeah, okay, cool. That peak jump I was talking about before. that actually just got introduced with this keeping in parity with the Switch version. The Switch version had an engine and tile set change, and that actually meant that that platform's slightly lower, just about enough that I could do that. In fact, I discovered it and thought, I'm terrible at this game. I can't believe I've never noticed you could jump up there, but then Marco highlighted that he's just patched that in. It's a feature.
It's a feature now.
Yeah, it is. Cool. This level is a lot of climbing, so again, if you want to shout out sponsors or anything, then feel free.
Got some donations.
Oh, nice.
Got $10 from Austin Gilbert. First time donating, but very nice speedrun so far. Keep up the good work.
Thank you very much.
And $5 from Mariade with no message.
Thank you for the donation. It's all appreciated. Feel free to donate towards the donation incentives. I'm hoping that the cosplay gets net for Pokemon Black and White. It's coming up very closely and needs $1,000, so, you know, no bias, but put your money towards that. Because the bees are already dead anyway. Feel free to spam bees are dead in chat. This level is quite technical. There's about 4 different skips you can do, some of which don't save much time, one of which is really big, so I'm really hoping I get it. If I don't, I've told myself I will be donating $50, so get hyped for either a really cool skip or $50 to charity. So they'll be clapping if I get this trick or fail it, regardless, I'm hoping. So I will tell you where it is, so you know exactly what your cue is for clapping. Okay, I'm waiting for this enemy to move out of the way because it's kind of annoying. So coming up right now is what I call the box slip. Ah, I didn't get it. You can just about slip there, but if you don't get it the first try, it's not worth it. You might as well carry on, and you take a heart of damage anyway, and the less damage you can take, the better. And that got discovered very recently by Oryx, another runner of this game, who's crazily good at it. But the box skip is coming up right now. So there's this box, that one in the top right. I'm hoping I can slip under it to get into this pipe. If I get it, great. If I don't, I donate money. Okay, there's $50 to save the children. Why are you clapping? I just failed the trick. Oh, you guys suck.
I think that's like the first time I've seen you fail this trick.
Man, you're rubbing it in. I tried to get... Okay, there's still a useful laser warp here. Funnily enough, I have definitely tried to laser warp there when I've had 1 heart. And when you try that, you will just spawn back to the checkpoint, which is not fast, it's very slow. But I had 2 hearts there, I went for it, it's a very slight optimization. There are so many slight optimizations in this game. I've highlighted the major tricks like that box skip, which I didn't do, but just use your imagination. You can get under that box if you try hard enough. But if you want to donate to charity, then you can just fail it instead.
You just really wanted to give the 50.
I just wanted to give the 50, exactly. I just wanted my wallet to cry. So this is the longest level in the game, at least longest from a speedrun perspective. I'd say potentially even longest when you're playing it normally. There's a lot of just going downwards, breaking these keys to get through these pipes, and then these force fields, you will eventually shoot a switch that gets rid of all these sort of like force field areas and then unlocks a new route through the level, which is quite neat. You go up and it is a completely different level entirely. And there is... I missed that key. Wow, that key was the MVP right there. There is an interesting thing, however. I'll mention it briefly. So there are par platforms medals in this, which is use the least amount of platforms. Of course, I use as many as I need to go fast. However, that checkpoint at the bottom has set my spawn point to the very bottom of the level. But what you can do, if that checkpoint didn't exist, there would be a very fast trick where you never land. Like a lot of the sort of like laser skips that I've been doing, or the thing in 2-2 or 2-1 where I just never landed and walked back to a lift, you could potentially walk back to the very top of the level if you could avoid activating that checkpoint. However, you can't really, so it's still useful for this par platform, because what you do is you use as little amount of platforms as possible, climb up the entire level, set your spawn point, and then go down, activate the switch, and die. And that actually uses less platforms than climbing up normally, like I'm doing here. It's a crazy trick. I definitely recommend trying to find that. You can either hit up the Discord or speedrun page, and that 4-6 platform pass should be on there. It's a very novel trick. Oh man, I got 2-minute IL there. That's bad. So my flower count is fine. So periodically I tend to check it, especially 2 levels before. So I don't need to worry about the last level. I pretty much collect almost all the flowers, so I don't have to worry about collecting too much in here. Some of it's a bit muscle memory, so I'm going to break bulbs and potentially collect the flowers. They're too tempting to not collect, but I could in reality just skip them, but marathon safety, right? So I don't want to have to replay a level, especially 4-8. 4-8 is quite long. That's annoying placement, so I'm going to take a hit there and then attempt to get to that platform, but not quite. So the interesting thing about this level, you can see the whole mechanic is that you can't see the platforms until you put a platform down. But if you're going fast, you see the platforms most of the time because you're putting platforms down very quickly. But if you're playing normally, that is quite hard to find where you're actually going.
I was just going to say, I don't think people even notice that those platforms, that the whole level structure doesn't show when you don't make a platform because you're going through it so fast.
From the speedrun perspective, it's hard to show off that mechanic, really. So this level used to be routed quite differently, and then unfortunately my policy of tricks is that if something looks really cool, I like to do it. Even if it wastes half a second, it looks really cool, I'll do it. But in this level there's a platform hoarding trick. The same thing in 3-7 where I was just getting way more platforms than I should have. There is a platform hoarding trick in this, but it turns out that getting that amount of platforms rather than just playing normally is slower. So thankfully 3-7 exists, so I can just do it then. But I don't do it here. You used to collect like 8 platforms and then just go all the way up the level. But I'm just going to play it normally for you so you can see what a normal playthrough this level looks like, just for the viewers at home.
I wouldn't call this a normal playthrough of this level.
I think I'm a bit biased. You can coax this enemy, they like run away from you, but if you coax it just right, you can position it without having to fiddle around and then get it in that right position to shoot it. Okay, got enough flowers? I've very much got enough flowers. So, we got the shot power up, we got the beam power up, and then we get the get wrecked power up. Sadly. The amount of times that you've debated people in chats when you've watched people play through this game and you're like, oh yeah, you should totally play the next level, you're about to get a really cool power up, and they're like, oh boy, thinking that the developer would tell them that they're actually getting something good, and then you just laugh at them.
Yeah, that's always fun to watch. People expecting like a big power up there and then
nope. This is probably the only, that's a bit of a time loss, serious time I kind of have in this. There is a very specific cycle that I'm probably not getting, which the backup is just to collect more flowers than I normally would. I'm going to see if I narrowly get it anyway. I can just about get it, I think. It's a 16-second cycle, so it really matters, but if you get hit by enemies too much, the loss of time is just too much, and nah, I'm not getting it, sadly. I'll just collect more flowers instead, which means that other levels can be a bit faster. That's the sort of routing on the fly I'm talking about, and it's very prominent in this. So that, yeah, that's just switched. So I'm going to be in this room for a lot longer than I wanted to, 16 seconds longer than I wanted to, really. But that's fine. That got discovered, less discovered and more just, we should totally try and do this in a speedrun very recently. We thought it was more IL specific to get here fast enough. But, you know, routing on the fly makes this quite interesting. I'm now able to collect more than I normally would, and the next level I can play a lot faster. In reality, you know, like, in theory, I should be aiming to play it faster. Let me get through. That's better. Just thought I'd add some text.
Chris, I'm really disappointed that you're not mentioning all the official scientific names of all the enemies.
Thank you for pointing it out. Yes, these are the big boys. That's the official name, because that's just how we make up canon in this game. We just just think of funny names. Thank you for pointing that out. I went off script. So normally I'd get about 18 flowers in there if I was playing very quickly. If I failed the cycle really quickly, I'd probably get like way more. But now I have 5 more than I need, so there's a few things I can try and skip. So I'm gonna go this way. Ah, damn. So that was nice. So I think the enemy just boot me away from the laser there. So that enemy was a real like lad right there. It let me not hit the laser, which would have been really bad. 1 heart here though is actually also really bad. So I'm going to be playing this very safely. As you can tell, that was very safe. That was incredibly calculated, you know, threading the needle through those enemies. This is less dangerous, so I'm not too worried about having 1 heart here. I'm prepared to eat my words though, especially the bees who are angry. Those bees could have got me, but the payback from that earlier level. There is a heart here though. Now I am definitely safe. Cool. That is 5-2. Let me see if I have any flowers up here. I have the 1. This is one of those random ones. There can be 2 here, there can be none, there can be 1. Keeps you on your toes. So 45. That is 1 above what I normally get on average. So that is quite alright. This level I normally get 30. In fact, there's nothing... this is quite cycle dependent, this level. There's a lot of these enemies that are just gradually to the beat, moving to the left or right. And so you kind of want to get through this fast because these enemies will just walk you to the very bottom. There's no safe place to land in here because it's just a wall of these enemies. So if I get killed here, you just kind of have to start the section all over again. And I might be able to catch this cycle. No, because that little spiky lad unfortunately ruined that. That's the scientific name, just in case you weren't aware. I hope you're noting this down because we're kind of making these scientific names on the fly. Oh, I want that flower, why not? Okay, so there's a minor laser warp coming up. I tend to also call it the floor is now lava, because obviously you're trying to not land anywhere. So I've just put my spawn point there. This is not safe. Nowhere where I landed is safe. I've walked back up here after activating the switch I needed. Oh, that was not the cycle I expected, but I got through. Okay, 5-4. This is one of those levels where there aren't many levels where you skip the majority of the content, but this one you very much do. So those bouncy boys, these bouncy boys in particular that I'm bouncing on. Yeah, pretty much the scientific names aren't very imaginative. It normally just ends in boy or lad. So you can pretty much bounce right under them and take the platforms away from them because these are like the platforms in 3.7 and 4.8 that give you a platform back. So I go back to 2. And then I just warp up here. So all those sections to the right, I'm just, you know, I don't need to do those. So we've routed it in such a way that the flowers I'm missing out don't matter too much because I collect more in other levels. And here's the last one. This one's quite tough. I could have just about gotten that cycle, but it was a bit tight. So instead I'm going to get this one. Nice. There we go. And that's the last one you can skip. Talking about skips, let me see if I can do this. That was close. And so is... nah, I'm fine. So cycles can be quite... If you go slightly off the route you normally get, the cycle is completely different. You kind of just have to adjust. That was quite tight as well. 11 is not bad in this level. So you skip a lot. You skip 2/3 of the stuff you normally get. And this level is quite dependent on how much you have. So I have 19 flowers to collect, which means that I can fall quite fast if everything goes according to plan, which I hope. It's very much like 3.5, the one I get 50 platforms in. There was a little safety there, but thankfully I fell through like almost as fast as you can. In fact, there was a very minor thing I did there, because I only needed to change my movement slightly. There's platform cancelling, and it's one of those, it's not super intuitive to watch, you don't really know it's happening, but I can remove the platforms under my feet immediately by pressing the platform button again. So that's what I'm doing a lot in situations where I'm just trying to shoot something, or I just need to, you know, collect something very quickly. So 19. I fell through so fast that I might need to collect these things actually. A little deviation there. I now have 17, which is fine. I can break a few more things. In fact, can I break that? Yeah, come on. There you go. I have 18. And I have 19. Sweet. They do, if you go into the goal before you've actually had the flower appear inside you, it still gets counted, which is good, obviously. So that whole flower count stuff, all the routing that I've been talking about through the whole run, you can forget about that now. There are no more flowers, they're all dead. And this is the one break I have. You know, if you like speedruns with very little downtime, this is the speedrun for you, because this is the only break you get. Now's also a good time to breed more stuff if you have anything.
Yeah, I can tell you about our partner Växjö, the city we're hosting them, or this we're having the event at.
Sure, go for it.
They're one of the most prominent IT clusters in Sweden, and very nice city to live in, like beautiful environment. And ESA Arcade is gonna open soon here, and with all the arcade games we've been having at the event, like Qubit, DDR, Groove Coaster, Tetris, Candy Caps, and a lot of pinball machines.
Nice. I didn't actually know about that. The arcade machines here are pretty cool. Okay, so that was like the tutorial level at the very start, except things are slightly off kilter. You're going to get some remix levels here. 8 remix levels that have more lasers, more enemies, everything kind of wants to kill you. But I do have an infinite number of platforms, so if you like the boost jumping tech, the going fast upwards, then you're going to see that a lot for the next 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, these levels are really fast anyway to begin with, because you have infinite platforms, and if you don't collect anything, you can really boost through them. But when speedrunning especially and using boost jumping, they go by so fast.
Yeah, it is kind of insane. The cycles you need to get in some levels as well are quite tight, but everything goes by quickly. That was in 34 seconds, so that was pretty good. In fact, in terms of times, I mean, my estimate's 112. I'm getting under that estimate. Don't you worry. The world record is just under 102. It's like 101.59. I'm not getting that, so there's no world record on stream, sadly. That was not going to happen. But I'm going to get a pretty good time. In fact, I'm probably going to get a time that would have beaten my PB from about a month ago, which is kind of crazy. It's getting really optimized. In fact, it might get under an hour. I'm hoping my sum of best is getting there. Sub 1 hour is that one arbitrary but very meaningful goal to try and hit. Okay, I'm going to move that platform and then just boost jump all the way through that. Those mimic bulbs are kind of mean. In fact, mimic bulbs are actually the legit name. The mimic lads are quite mean. More boost jumping. There's a few keys to collect here, so I'm going to do that and go all the way down. Ah, that was some good timing by those like little balls of acid. Are they acid? Sewage? Do you have?
You know, I don't. Already acid, maybe. I think in the project they're called boost.
Okay.
Non-specific.
Non-specific. I mean, they like everything is cycle dependent. There's talking about cycles and randomness. Other than the flowers, there's very little randomness in this game, which is nice. There's very little major skips that if you miss, you're going to lose minutes at a time. So it's all about getting all the little tech down, all the little skips, and just consistency. It's kind of like a V6 or VVVVV in a way, in the way that the game is very much highly movement-based. A lot of corner cutting and little tricks, which I enjoy a lot. In fact, shouts to the V6 community, they're pretty cool. I missed that cycle, oh well. Better than dying. That crusher, in a lot of this world, if you get hit by a crusher or a laser, the things that warp you back to your last safe space, because you've never landed, because you have infinite platforms, you just go back to the start practically. So it can be quite dangerous, these worlds. In fact, I think...
And actually, this is probably one of the few cycles that is not music-based with the crushers, because they're so random how they move. Otherwise, all the cycles in the game that you mentioned have to do with the beat, with the music.
Yeah, I've never actually thought about that. Yeah, because those crushers are very erratic. It's kind of weird when you point it out. That it's one of the few things you can't really judge very well. I mean, I assume they're like some kind of global timer, but even then, you're not going to be able to time it very easily. So I just try and get there fast, pretty much. That's my mantra. But I did a safety landing there because there's a specific point there where if you hit a laser, you lose about 30 seconds. So that whole thing I was talking about, you can't lose laser time. There are a few edge cases, but you know, if you just play it safe and the safety isn't that slow, then you'll be fine. Don't worry about it. After this level, there'll be time to read a few more things if you've got anything. This level's quite intense though, but the next two, they're just a lot more boost jumping, to be honest. But this one, there's quite a few cycles to get, so I'm going to hopefully get them. This used to be the level I hated the most. Not that it's like bad in any way, I'm bad at it. Nice, I got that one. That laser was just about to shoot me, but thankfully I went too fast. Okay, wanted to make sure I didn't get hit by that laser. Ooh, 1 heart. Okay, this is interesting. That's very interesting. Damn, I've tried playing a bit too fast there, but, you know, that's fine. In terms of, like, you're not going to game over a level because you have 4 lives. There's been very few unintentional deaths here. I think about 2, maybe 3. But you have, like, 4 lives in addition. So we play on normal mode because of that, but there is actually an easy mode coming up which we're unlikely to play on because it means you can't do certain death abuse if you need to. And I was never going to play on easy mode on stream. What would the Twitch chat think?
Oh, that was close with that laser.
Yeah, I nearly got everything there, but that's fine. It's fine, it happens. I got caught a little bit there. So in fact, this is Kill or Save the Bees Mark II. So Kill the Bees was mostly about that specific level, because that's the one where if you save them it's quite hard, but this is the remixed version of that level. So I'll be killing more bees than I intended to. And myself, apparently. But yeah, if there's anything to read, the next couple of levels, feel free to.
We got $25 from King J. Comment is, gotta go fast.
Nice. Thank you.
And I can talk a little bit about upcoming bid wars for the Pokemon Black and White.
Oh yeah, definitely go for it.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that one.
So at about 1 p.m., so in about 3 hours, we have the Pokemon Black and White run coming up, and there's multiple bid wars for that one. One is the character names, then there's one for all, well, 3 of the Pokemon. I'm not quite sure how many are actually used in the run, but 4 of the Pokemon actually. Yeah. And then there's of course the cosplay incentive, which well, it's quite far away, but maybe we can make it. So.
What's it at, out of curiosity?
It's $52.
Out of the thousands. Yeah, you guys need to set it up. Donate all your money towards that. Okay, this is a pretty solid time. So there is a boss coming up. You probably wouldn't think, given this whole level, there would be a boss, but there is indeed a final boss. And optimally, I should beat it in about 3 minutes. So let's see if I can do that. First thing though, you know, I didn't like that RNG seed, so I decided to restart that one. Because the boss comes out faster now. Because if you replay the boss, just for the sake of speeding things up a little bit, Marco decided the boss will come out a little faster, which is nice. So, amusingly, Mark and I did a little bit of practice commentary for this, and I was actually mashing for the life of me to try and get as many hits in as boss, but Marco has since clarified that that's not actually fast. The beam is going to hit the boss as often as you could do if you just mashed it. So thank you for highlighting that, because that was hurting my hand.
You know, I'm not. I don't think there is any use to mashing, because it's what did I say? 21 every 21 frames you get hit anyway.
Exactly.
So it could be that I don't know, that you save like 1 or 2 frames after a few hits if you mash, because you manage to like press the platform button right at the time of those 21, at the end of those 21 frames, so you could hit him again right away. But it's so unlikely for that to happen that.
I mean, does the beam technically hit every frame? Possibly?
Yeah, the beam does hit every frame, but you have to renew the platform, right? And so it could be that whenever you renew the platform, you hit it. You're losing a frame too when you could have hit him. But honestly, I'm not sure that matters, because you make platforms so fast that I'm not sure there's even a frame in between.
Yeah.
That's nothing that I've ever measured.
Yeah, I mean, I could just do it to make it look more technical. Okay, this boss is really technical. If you mashed it, then we're getting more hits in. Let's just pretend nothing ever happened. I mean, it's bad. Mashing is just, it's not very good on this. The less mashing, the better. That is a current topic in a few speedrunning communities, and thankfully there's the boost jumping doesn't require very fast mashing. You can jump and put platforms down 3 times a second. It's not too fast. And the only thing that actually does require a lot of inputs is that very specific trick and fall one, which you can just miss entirely. So if you care about your hands and you're not able to press buttons really fast, then don't fret too much. You can get away with playing this without having to do that. We're now up to the final phase. I haven't explained the boss too much because it's a fairly standard boss. You're just trying to shoot it as often as possible. Sometimes it's invincible. Right now it's going to be invincible for a while, so I'm just going to take a few hits. I want to reset back to 3 hearts because dying whilst the boss is actually able to be hit is obviously slow. So I want to get a full 3 hearts here. Oh, that's kind of rude. I wanted that platform. I'm just going to camp here. Okay, I'm not allowed to camp there either. That's fine. Doesn't really matter. I just like to chill here for a little bit. And rotate my head. There is a button you can rotate your head. I'm not going to tell you what it is though. Okay, that whole thing about mashing, I kind of lied. So you can do this rhythmically though, because the whole 21 frame thing, if you do this like, if you got a metronome out, I could probably do the hits rhythmically, but I don't have a metronome to hand, so I'm just going to mash.
I mash here too. Everyone mashes.
The time is coming up. Yeah, exactly. The time is coming up like as soon as the boss dies. I'll go now. That's the time. Cool. 105.06. Nice. And in-game time 104.58, which I'm gonna look at the in-game time because it's satisfyingly sub 105, so that is the time. I got 104.58. So cool. I'm just gonna let the estimate's quite high, so if it's alright, I'm probably just gonna let the cutscene and a little bit of the credits play out. It's about 2-3 minutes, if that's cool for you guys. It's got some very nice music. Shout outs to Reader, who did the music for the sort of like pre-credits. It's very nice, and he's lurked in my streams. I didn't know who he was at the time, so he watched the whole playthrough and then said the music was bad to me. And then I kind of clocked on that he was the one who made it. You know, that's this musician for you. But all the music's incredible, all the art's incredible. You develop like the majority of this game, so it's kind of insane. I don't know how people do it, the solo development stuff, but you did it, and it's a very, very good game.
It just takes a while. You can do it.
It just takes a while. Just give yourself like 4 years. You got it. So I'll get my shoutouts out of the way whilst the ending cutscene is playing. I could try and explain the plot, but I'm not going to. It's leave it to your imagination. It's all about speedrunning really fast. So so I'm going to shout out a couple of runners. Emoji and Oryx, they're actually currently, they couldn't watch right now because they themselves are speedrunning in another marathon, but they totally would have watched if they weren't doing that. So shout outs to them. They've discovered quite a few little tricks I couldn't, because for a while I was the only runner, and when you're the only runner and you're trying to do like sort of strat hunting and grinding out runs, that you get desensitized, you can't find certain things. Oryx came to the community, Emoji did as well, found a lot of cool little tricks that I never saw, and we've sort of grinded the time down. In fact, Oryx bopped my record about a month ago. I had a 104, he got a 102.30, and I bopped that before because I wanted to be the world record holder before I got here, and thankfully he was nice enough not to bop me before I got here. So shouts to Oryx for not bopping my record before I got to ESA. What a nice lad. So yeah, and the nice thing about this is that I'm actually playing on a sort of like a beta release. This is about to get patched into Steam. Speedrun Medal is about to get patched into Steam, so I thought you guys would care about that because, you know, speedrunning. So that is nice, and a few little achievements. They're quite satisfying as well.
Plus, your name is in the credits now, Chris.
Yeah, you spoiled it. Oh man,
Oh, I'm
it's
sorry.
the only reason I was waiting for the credits. I was gonna skip the publisher bit. I mean, no, shout out to the Square Enix Collective. They helped a lot with the marketing. But I was gonna skip halfway through the credits. Shout out to your cats as well. How are your cats doing?
They didn't bother me once during this thing, which is surprising.
Nice. Shout out to your cats. Yeah, here are all the composers. Chipsel, you might have heard of Chipsel. In fact, I'm repping Chipsel right now with this shirt. So I didn't even mention that before, but I am. So the music's really, really good. Chipsel, Andre Sposa's got some really cool stuff filled in, like did so much of the soundtrack, and you yourself did a lot of the soundtrack. So shout out to you as well for the music.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. I didn't even drink. Stay hydrated. I can't drink for about like an hour of that run until the sort of like little cutscene, and then I have to drink afterwards. Though my world record actually came when I needed the bathroom too much information the whole time. So the secrets to world records are to really need to go somewhere, and then you will go fast. So that's the secret. So there's only like a minute more of credits, and then I'll let you know when you can cut me off and just grab me off the chair. But I was way underestimate, so you know. I think that's all the shoutouts as well. I mean, shoutouts to the viewers, shoutouts to the Twitch chat. I hope you enjoyed me killing the bees. I'm gonna enjoy watching the Twitch chat replay where everyone quotes Nicolas Cage. Oh, there I am. I completely forgot. Here I am. Hey, look, it's me. Okay, cool. I can close the game now. So feel free to cut me off. That's all I wanted. I just want to see my name in the credits. So thank you very much for having me. Thank you very much for watching, and see you guys around. Stick for the Semblance run. Semblance run's going to be really good. It's coming up in about 10 minutes or so. But that's all from me. Thank you.
عايشين في خيمتنا صايرة جملون عايشين فيها أنا وأمي وأخواتي وأبوي. أتذكر أحلامي الحلوة، أتذكر بيتنا كيف كان، بس هلأ انهدم. نرجع على بيتنا ونعيش بسلام بس. لما جينا رحلنا لهون صار حالتنا ضيقة كتير. قمت أنا رحت أشتغل بالاستيراد. صار الزعران بعيطولي بيقولوا لي أنا بعطيك مصاري وتعي معي. شغل في زعران بيلطشونا بالمدرسة، ما في حدا بيلطشنا، في استاذية واستاذيات. تعلمت إنه نحن بهذا العمر لازم هلا بنكون على المدرسة منه نصير كبار. عطتنا مبلغ ساعدنا الأطفال.
You can go first. Oh.
Good morning, gamers.
Hello.
I am joined by Joshimus.
You missed a word.
Sorry?
You missed a word.
What did I miss?
The.
The Joshimus.
Thank you, thank you.
My apologies. The Joshimus.
Thank you.
The absolute monster that did Chinatown Wars and Vice City Stories yesterday. Great run, Josh. Good job.
Mate,
I actually watched the whole thing. I think it's like the first time I've ever watched a full VCS run.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you think of it? What do you think of it? Go on.
It was great, mate. It was great.
Yeah.
The crashes were pretty standard.
Did you see the one at the start where I accidentally opened Chinatown Walls and just crashed my PSP?
No?
Okay, yeah. So
that's a Josh only kind of thing that you would do right there.
Like last minute, I had to add Chinatown Wars to my PSP, but Grand Theft Auto Chinatown Wars alphabetically is before Vice City Stories.
Oh, so you just saw the GTA.
So I'm
and
just like restarting the game. And I'm just mashing X in the menu, and it just opens the first one that's there. Chinatown Wars.
Big noob.
Yeah.
Big noob, mate.
Then my PSP crashed.
Yeah.
That was fun.
So you just got finished watching OCTAHEDRON with Christerious. Next up is Semblance, but we're running a bit ahead of schedule. So you're going to be dealing with us for a bit. So
it's stalling time.
Hope you guys and gals don't mind.
Oh.
Our face has been on the camera for a while.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Nubis, can you not heckle me, please? You know, it's already nerve-wracking enough without you bullying me over here.
So yeah, we're currently at $11,508.
If we reach 12,000,
I'll dab or something. I don't know.
I'll dab or something. Josh will give you the fattest dab the world has ever seen.
The fattest dab.
The fattest dab.
What does that even mean?
He will dab so hard that the venue will collapse on top of us from the swiftest dab the world has ever seen.
Might like accidentally hit you in the face or something.
Yeah. If we
Knock
reach
you out.
12,000, Josh will dab so hard he will kill me instantly. I know everyone wants to see that. English Ben just getting knocked out on camera.
Yeah.
So, for Pokemon Black and White, which is a bit later on, maybe in an hour, I think? A couple of runs time.
Yeah, about an hour, yeah.
Yeah.
Hour,
As I mentioned before, there were bid wars. There's also one for Reshiram. And again, you can submit your own options. Right now, the one that's winning does that say Refreshy?
Refreshy, the nickname.
Refreshy
yeah.
with $20. So $21 or more. And you can submit your own name. You can submit anything you want, but don't go too stupid. Don't call it something stupid like Joshimus. None of that.
The Joshimus doesn't fit.
Yeah, sensible names. Sensible names. And then we also have the musical participation, Josh.
Okay.
You're a Pokemon lad. Tell us a bit about that.
You put me on the spot. I don't play Black and White.
Josh, the Joshimus, everyone.
Is it a minigame?
I don't know, Josh.
There's only one way to find out, Ben. Do you know how? We get that $200 goal. That's how
yeah,
we find out.
absolutely. Yeah, we need to know. So if you all donate, then we will find out. So thank you, everyone. That's very generous of you. I know I've kind of put you on the spot, but I'm very good at doing that.
You missed the most important donation goal.
What is that?
Cosplay.
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 Tell us about the cosplay.
If we get $1,000 towards the Black and White cosplay goal, both runners will cosplay as characters in the run. I don't remember the names. I think one of them's L or something. Or N.
I could share.
Oh,
You-
N
you-
is the guy
Nubis?
with green hair, right?
You Nubis, do you know?
Yes, I do.
Fill us in, buddy.
The
Yeah.
cosplays will be the rival Sharan, and the other one will be In.
Okay. I was
There you
half
go.
right.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
good. I think he's the green-haired lad.
Oh man.
He's a good lad.
They like dye their hair and stuff.
Yeah, we're actually going to open a beauty salon at ESA and really get this thing going. You any good at dyeing your hair, Josh?
I did it once. It was terrible.
Was it? What color did you go?
Like a really edgy bluey black. sort of
Wow, that's crazy.
yeah.
Honestly, that is absolutely mental.
massive emo kind of look.
It's not a phase. Apart from it was.
It was a phase.
It was
yeah.
absolutely a phase. Yeah. So after Semblance, which is the next run, All Orbs by Onebrex, we then have Blue Suit Glitchless Abzu by Charisse H, formerly known as Psycho Bunny. And do you want to pop over for an interview, Charisse? We'll set you up with Josh. Great,
Easy,
she says.
easy.
Yeah. You good to go?
Yeah.
I'll tag out.
Okay.
All right. We'll go to the room cam real quick while we sort this out, and then we'll be back in a few. Don't go anywhere.
All right. Hello again. So we're here with Charisse.
Hi.
You're about to do Asbu after Semblance.
Abzu.
Here's your first question. How do you pronounce the name of the game?
Abzu.
Abzu.
Yes.
What did I say? Asbu. Okay. All right. I'm really dyslexic. It's a serious problem, all right? This is harassment.
It's okay.
So yeah, you're doing the run. First of all, my first question. The category, glitchless blue suit. Can you explain for the audience and me what that means?
Okay, so the blue suit is something that you unlock in the game after collecting, I think it's 12 shells. I don't remember. I've done it quite some time ago. Yeah, that's about it. The blue suit makes you faster, which is the whole point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Faster in the water.
Yes.
It's a swimming game, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And apparently I've heard it involves whales. Yeah?
Yeah.
I've heard of legendary status of your whale facts that you prepared for this run, right? You're hyping it all morning.
I have
Yeah?
quite a few facts.
Okay.
I'm gonna blow your mind.
Oh, okay. And I hope you have a teaser fact for us. Can we have a teaser whale fact?
Okay, sure. Did you guys know that a blue whale's heart weighs as much as a car?
What car?
Josh, don't put me on the spot like that.
Oh, where did you hear this fact from? Oh, I don't know. It was a Volkswagen Beetle.
You totally weren't reading it this morning. Thanks, Josh.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, a Volkswagen Beetle. What kind of whale was it? I can't remember. Blue whale? Blue whale.
Blue whale.
Yeah. Okay. Are there any blue whales in the game, or are they just whales?
There's a part in chapter 3 that has a auto-scroller with a whale.
Oh, okay.
I don't
Makes sense.
actually have to do anything in the game.
Okay.
It's great.
I'm being told by tech about following us. Yeah. Oh yeah. Speaking of, Ben, you forgot to plug a thing. Okay. I am the senior. I'm gonna. Okay. All right.
Show him how it's
so yeah.
done.
So Ben was supposed to ask me about the podcast I did with Rydog on ESA's YouTube channel earlier yesterday. If you haven't seen that, on ESA's YouTube channel, you can find all of these runs that get uploaded slowly so your sub box isn't destroyed. Me and Rai did a podcast yesterday. He asked me loads of questions about the run and stuff. And we also have Twitter and Twitch. Yeah. Follow. Text says follow. There you go.
You can also use your Twitch Prime, guys.
Yeah? Good. I'm getting thumbs up. We're doing good.
Yeah, we got this.
All right, next question. This one's not about the game. It's about you. Okay?
Oh, God.
So,
okay.
Previously, you were known as Psycho Bunny.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're Charisse.
Yes.
Is there a story that you want to talk about, or?
Well, okay. When I was younger, I used to live in this small island, and my actual real name, is Charisse.
Oh, wow.
So no one ever gave me a nickname because my name was the only one in the island. So I was just known by Charisse, and I was so sad because everyone had nicknames but me. So I had to come up with something. But then I'm like, yeah, this is not working. Yes. Cool story.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now you're Charisse.
I've always been Charisse.
Okay. You know what I meant.
Okay.
Okay. But yeah, the last time I saw you and this game was ESA Movember.
Yes.
Which we did in November. It was an online-only marathon run by ESA. And you got the last run of the marathon because you were on site.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how did that go? Because I fell asleep before it.
Okay.
Before it, not because of you.
Uh-huh.
It's late.
It went okay.
Yeah?
I guess.
Can you describe the venue, the ESA?
Oh, yeah, the venue is great.
Yeah?
There's lots of arcades, and it's kind of chilly. It's cold.
I remember seeing lots of intermissions where you and lots of other people are dancing and stuff, right?
Yeah, the DDR.
Yeah. How was that?
Yeah, that's fun.
Okay. Good. Got anything else you want to say about your run?
No.
No? Nothing?
Watch
You don't wanna
later
hype it
to
up?
find out.
No? Okay. All right, well, thanks, Charisse. And
You're
I guess
welcome.
that's us. Thanks for watching ESA Winter 2019. And coming up next is Semblance.